Hey, it's Sarah Jane from Access Your True Nature. And I just wanted to invite you, if you haven't already joined the Animal Wellness Summit, it starts today and there is an incredible lineup of experts around the globe that are joining together to bring you the latest cutting edge science and the ancient wisdom of things like Ayurveda and the 5 elements and how to use aromatherapy oils for your own health, but also your animal companions. And I'm really excited and honored to be bringing you what I know about how to use the 5 element theory of Chinese medicine, which is one of my most amazing modalities that I have in my toolbox, and also to just entice you a little bit to get curious about how you can keep your pets happy and healthy through this ancient wisdom of Ayurveda, which in Sanskrit is really translates to life, and the wisdom or the science is the Veda part of it. And it's a part of the Vedic system of knowledge and the written documentation that dates back like 5,000 years ago. So I know this stuff works. I have been using traditional Chinese medicine, acupressure, and also a really good place to start is knowing what your dosha is or your animal's dosha is, because animals often mirror back to us where we are not seeing or not living in our true nature. So a lot of times we get animals and it's, I don't know if you've ever had anybody say to you, oh gosh, you and your dog look just the same, or oh my gosh, your cat and you look just the same, or your horse acts just like you, because they really are the most incredible mirrors. They're always mirroring back to us what we are not often able to see, because we're underneath so much programming and lies that we've been trying to make true. So if you're looking for ways to support your pets live happy and healthy and longer lives, the best place you can start is by informing yourself. I think in this day and age, we are so bombarded by an information overload when we're actually starving for knowledge. And this summit is going to bring you the knowledge and the pragmatic steps and tools that you can actually take to be your own medicine. And not only is it going to make you happy and healthy, but it's going to cut down on vet bills and unnecessary costs later on, because you are so in tune with your own animals. And I'm going to be speaking about how to apply the ancient wisdom of 5 elements, the 5 element theory, and Ayurveda in dietary related ways, to use food as medicine, the energetics of food that are really going to stoke the digestive fire and really give you some cues before you go rushing off to vets to have unnecessary invasive testing and spending lots and lots of money and still not getting conclusive results on mystery diseases or why your animal's behaving a certain way, by giving you the basics of the 5 element theory. And this is really what Ayurveda and Chinese medicine is about. It's a very holistic approach for healing, and it teaches us that the body and the mind and the soul must be in balance and in flow. It's a feeding cycle in order to achieve optimal health. So it works for anything that is living, whether you're human or non-human. The elemental theory of Chinese medicine remains the same, and it can be so helpful and supportive also for you to know how to use it and apply it to your life and your animal companions' lives before you go to vet. So it can really be helpful if you're tuned in on this. Hi Teresa, hi Kelly. This is interesting. It says I can bring you on camera. So just know that Ayurveda is really founded on the premise that the very same elements that exist in nature, because we're all connected, we're the microcosm of the macrocosm, and everything is connected to everything, and it exists in nature. So it's the space, the air, the fire, the earth, the water. Those are the elements that all exist in our own internal climate, internally in our physical bodies. And the way to optimal health begins in a very simple realignment with the rhythms of nature. So it's very easy when you know how the feeding cycle works, how to look at which system in your body may be out of balance, and then how to restore health and harmony through lifestyle and diet and cellular repair and really get to the root cause of what might be underneath some of the symptoms. So I really hope that you join me. I love this work, and the results really do speak for themselves. So if you're curious about the basics of Chinese medicine, I hope that you tune in for my training on the Animal Wellness Summit. And there's some incredible people joining the summit. Some of my great mentors and the people that I really look up to in holistic healthcare for animals, like Dr. Karen Becker. There's chiropractics, Will Falconer, who's my hero as far as holistic, homeopathic veterinary care, is going to be on. My colleague Anna Marie Vasquez is on. There's so many amazing people from all around the world, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of this. So if you're interested in really helping yourself and helping your animals, I think we really have to realize that we've got to come back to basics. We have to go back to using nature as medicine and realigning. You know, part of our suffering and our struggle these days is because we are so disconnected from nature. We're so disconnected from the natural rhythms and the feeding cycle of life, and we have to come back home. We have to connect to ourselves and listen to our body, because the knowing is already within you. And this is why things like traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda have been around for centuries, because it's ancient in its wisdom and it's ancient in its practicality. And let's face it, the pharmaceutical companies that are pushing drugs, the food companies that are pushing non-nutritional, dead, deceased and dying food that actually is causing a lot of the cancers and the tumors and the Cushing's disease and the thyroid issues in animals, don't want you to know this. They don't want you to be feeding your dog's bone and raw food diets. They don't want you to be putting your predatory cats, who are used to eating living prey and get their moisture from live prey. They don't want you to go back to nature, because it's going to keep your pets healthy, and then you won't need the vets and you won't need all this other stuff. And I'm not knocking Western medicine. I really believe there's a time and a place for all of it. But if you just go back to my topic and what I'm passionate about and where I get the results with Chinese medicine, just know that everything in the world is composed of the 5 fundamental building blocks of nature, of air and fire and water and metal and earth. And they have to be moving all of the time. So when you know what your animal's dosha is, based off of the five elements, which is the dominant predisposition, you know, what are the natural constitutional types of your animals, then you can feed them diet appropriate food. You know, if there's too much heat in the body, we need to bring in cooling foods. If we have not enough heat, or if there's too much damp in the body, Ayurveda and Chinese medicine, you can heal and rebalance, restore balance in the body if you know what the elemental type is. And if you haven't already, there's a quiz on my page at Access Your True Nature. Take the quiz. The same thing will apply in the characteristics of the quiz, whether you're doing it for yourself or you're doing it for your animal companions. And the work is exciting because it's so practical. And when you have these 5 elements that give rise to these 3 doshas of vata or pitta or kapha, which are the energies that are governing all the functions of the body, just know for now, because I'm going to go into this in the training, but vata is the space and the air. Pitta types are fire and water, and kapha are the people that are very watery and earthy. So when you know your elemental type, then you can actually align your lifestyle in the medicine, in food as medicine, in how you're showing up, in noticing your triggers, and the same goes for your animals. So while modern medicine is based on the structures of the body, Ayurveda and Chinese medicine are based on the energetic frequencies behind the structures. So the doshas are biological energies that are found throughout the body and the mind, and they're all governed by the physical and mental processes that provide every single one of us with an individual blueprint. And this is why this work is so exciting, because not only do you get to know yourself, but you get to know when you're not yourself or when something's off with yourself and with your animals. So, you know, just think about it, that Vata is like the wind in nature, and it's energy, it's the energy of action and movement and transportation. And Vata people are very, very highly strung. Pittas are like the sun's heat in nature, and it's the energy of transformation and conversion and digestion. So these are the very fiery animals that are full of energy, and they're rushing around, and they're highly excited. And Kaphas are like water in nature. So the energy of the construction and the lubrication and the nourishment come from the Kapha type. And when you know what your prakriti is, your unique constitution or your dosha, or your animal's true nature, your individual blueprint, or the natural constitutions, and there's always a unique blend of the three doshas, because remember, we're moving through the 5-element feeding cycle all the time. And when you know that, then you can actually start to look at how you relate to other people, how your animals relate to other people and other animals, how they relate, how we all relate to the environment, because we're all part of this feeding cycle. And then you can determine what system is perhaps out of balance, and then you can actually start to use food as medicine through the energetics of food, and how to get your digestive fire up to digest your food and to digest your life. And it's the same for our animals. So you can tell how excited I am about this. Hi, Anjana. It's going to be an amazing, amazing summit. And I'm going to be talking about the basics of the 5-element theory of Chinese medicine, because I've seen my clients light up, and I've seen them really get confident in taking back and writing their own prescription on their health. So I hope you join me. I don't want to go into too much detail right now, but take the quiz. It's a really great place to start, really getting to know yourself and knowing your triggers, and seeing the gift in the places where you perhaps have felt like they're a downfall or a shadow. And also then it'll give you a deeper understanding into your animal's disposition. You know, some dogs are very shy. The Vatas are very shy, and they're very timid, and they wait before they respond. They're not like the other like the Pittas, which are very like rah 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 rah. So this is the dog that's very brave and very aggressive, or the cat that really stands his ground. So it's fascinating when you can actually start to understand how this feeding cycle works, and how it affects you, and how we can tune into the natural rhythms of life and the natural flow, so that we actually start to eat according to seasons. Okay, we've got so far out with electricity and with food being flown around the world, that we have forgotten how to eat in accordance with the timing of the seasons. Winters, we're supposed to eat nourishing, warm, hearty things. And summer, when it's hot, we're supposed to eat lighter, cooler foods. And because we're not eating from garden to our plates anymore, we've lost this beautiful synergistic dance with nature and what she provides in her bounty, to support our bodies through the seasons. So it's a beautiful dance, and it's a wonderful, wonderful system to get really familiar with, without having to go to get a certification in traditional Chinese medicine that takes 8 years. You know, it's taken me decades to really. I just love this work. It's taken me decades to learn, and you never stop learning about it. But you don't need to be, a specialist on this for it to work for you. If you've got dogs that have got itchy skins and all of that, it's because perhaps they are predispositioned to being too hot, and we can teach through the system. You can know what foods to add to cool them down, and how to speak to your animals that are perhaps a little shy, or the ones that need you to be the leader and stand up and be the kapha. So So please join us. I'll post the link before, but it's the animalwellnesssummit.com. It's going to be amazing. I'm so super excited to be bringing what I know about it to you. And if you have any questions about what your dosha is, or what to feed your animals, or the beautiful thing is that when you start doing this, you'll do it for your animals. You might not do it for yourself. So in helping yourself, you actually help your animals, and they're the greatest teachers that there are. So you know, everything is a gift if we can just see it as one. And I just know that when you know what these doshas are and what your primary or dominant element is, or your animal's element, everything just flows with more ease and more grace, and we can course correct a whole lot quicker. So so join me. I feel like I'm getting really, really excited about this, but just know that when you can start balancing yourself or your animals and establishing a grounding routine, you know, just think consistency for your animal's type, they become happier and healthier, and you will too. All right, so that's it. I'll see you on the summit, and wherever you are, have an amazing day. Lots of love. Bye. Mwah.